Capricorn, your weekly love tarot reading begins with a Two of Wands, a Three of Pentacles, a Nine of Wands, and an Ace of Swords. Your person is coming in this week with a Hanged Man, King of Cups, Death Energy, and the Page of Wands. Bottom of the deck for this reading is a Seven of Swords. Well, Seven of Swords is a card for treachery, for futility. Things just aren't working out because you approach them, and I say you, whoever is approaching it with a treacherous mind. You know, they're using deception to try to get what they want, and it's not going to work, right? We'll come back to that energy, see how that fits into your reading. But for right now, let's go forward with your energies. How you and your person come in. You come in as a Two of Wands. They come in as Hanged Man. So you're ready to move forward this week, over this next few weeks. You're ready to move forward. You're ready to get this show on the road, to get things going, to get things moving. You have a very sort of warlike energy about you. You're ready for the world to sort of attitude, right? Hanged Man energy. Your person is kind of in a stasis. They're in a position where they really are going to have a wake-up call to change up what they're doing. You know, they're kind of in a stuck position to a degree, right? They're in a place where they're going around and around in circles. But they're going. What it's going to take to get them out of that is an epiphany. Inspiration coming in, something worth fighting for. Now, let's see how this now fits into your love reading, and get some clarity. You have a Three of Wands, so you're waiting for some information. Not waiting, but you're ready to go. But as well, at the same time, it's almost as if, your person is not raring to go with you just yet. And so you're kind of like, I'm ready. Where's the sign that you're ready? Your person comes in with Queen of Swords. This is what needs to happen for them. There's an epiphany that needs to come in about themselves, about who they are, about their own sort of identity in a way, right? And being with you, or this connection that they have with you, is what's driving this, right? There's a feeling here, Capricorn, that you're dealing with somebody who for a very long time has not brought their A game to whatever it is they were doing or dealing with. They haven't sort of brought their best, they haven't put their best foot forward. And as a result of that, it almost feels as though they've begun to believe that they aren't capable of it. They've begun to sort of believe that this is the best they're able to do. Which it's a weird self sort of feeding loop, negative loop. But Queen of Swords is coming in, and there's clarity that begins to come in for them in terms of their ability and confidence to do more. How do you guys see each other? You see them as Three of Pentacles, and they see you as a King of Cups. So yeah, you're dealing with somebody, Capricorn, who is very industrious. You see them working hard in their lives, but are they willing to put that effort into you or into this connection? King of Cups is how they see you. They see you as somebody who's very much in charge of yourself. You own your sexuality, you own your emotions, you are very, very confident, you know what you want. And it may be a little bit intimidating for them, rather, right, Capricorn? I mean, you're coming across to them as a king of your love life, so someone who has it very much together, who has no shortages of suitors or people who might want to be with you. And that can be very intimidating. And yet the fact that you're bringing such strong energy, such high level energy, is kind of the epiphany or the inspiration that they needed. Because I think part of them is thinking, why is this person interested in me? And it's really creating a sense of, oh, wow, this person is intimidating. Capricorn, you're intimidating and overwhelming, but the fact that your eye is on me is making me feel better about myself. You know what I mean? Like, oh, wow, this incredible Capricorn is interested in me. Five of Cups comes out, a mourning and a loss, and Four of Wands. Wow, okay. So interestingly enough, you come in with the Five of Cups in this scenario. I think there's a little part of you, let's put it to you like this, there's a bit or a stage in this connection here where it wasn't happening, right? you guys may have begun to come together and then broken up, or the beginning of the relationship is really choppy. And so there's a feeling of being reminded for you, Capricorn, of a previous relationship here. You know, Seven of Swords, I'll come back to this. I think that your previous relationship, Capricorn, perhaps was very toxic and had a lot of this treacherous energy. And your person being very stuck and coming across as being sort of just standing still and not really doing what they need to do to move towards you is making you remember this previous connection. It's kind of taking you back to your past, which is not a place you're wanting to be, right? And so it's interesting. They remind you a lot of an ex. Your person is coming in with the 11-11 card, 4 of Wands. So I think they recognize that this relationship or this connection with you is very important and perhaps even somewhat fated and destined. So what are they going to do about it? Well, how do you guys see your role? They realize that they need to change. They realize that they're going to need to change and come up out of this space, this hanged man space. That comes in for them. They're going to have to change their ways, their modus operandi, and they see that and they realize that. 9 of Wands, for you, you feel like you're still kind of battling in this connection to get somewhere. You know, it feels to me, Capricorn, like you've met somebody here who you are ready to sort of start. Yeah, you're ready to kind of, let's go, let's start going out, let's start dating, let's start this thing. And they are not. They did not come to you with that sense of urgency. And, you know, it almost feels as though like you're kind of at the end of your rope here. You're like, okay, well, if you're not interested, if it's going to be so much work for me, this just reminds me of the previous relationship I had, which was quite treacherous and futile and ridiculous. And there's a lot of shenanigans. And I just don't, you know, I think that you're almost at the verge of giving up, which is exactly when they begin to change up and they begin to bring a bit more to you, right? With that death card, it requires them to really change who they are, which is why it's taking such a long time for it to happen in your mind. I think, Capricorn, it's taking a while, right? Queen of Pentacles, yes, and for you, them, King of Wands. Yeah, you guys both really step into a mature role here. Okay, I think that if they bring you the energy that you're seeking, right, and really show you, overcome this feeling of intimidation and being overwhelmed by me having met you, and they show you what they're willing to give, you're willing to give your all in that case, you know, because you haven't given up on this connection just yet. It's just been quite exhausting for you because it keeps reminding you of previous relationships which weren't very good. And you're like, is this really worth fighting for? But again, as they change, you bring that. They themselves step right into their role as, yes, this is what I want, King of Wands. This change, this death that comes in for them, I think they have an epiphany. You know, it isn't even any one specific thing that makes them have it, but an epiphany comes in, which is to say they're like, man, I'm about to lose a good thing here with this Capricorn because I'm over here lollygagging and I'm not really stepping up the way I should. And once they realize that, they really make 180-degree turn and begin to move towards you. But before I move to your oracles, let's talk about your possible outcomes. Ace of Swords and Page of Knights. Yeah, the possible outcome here is that for them, they really throw all their fear aside and move forward with you. And you, Ace of Swords, there's a victory here that comes in because I know you feel like in your heart of hearts, it's like your mind and your heart aren't connecting. You feel that there is something here, but because of all of this kind of, I want to say, waiting for them to figure it out, right? You've been confused. But as they come through, Ace of Swords, the clarity comes back. You're like, damn, I knew we had something. I knew something was here. I knew you were into me. I knew that, and you get a sense of victory here and vindication because there is something here with this person, right? There is. Let's go ahead and pull out your oracles. We have a Spirit of the Castle, zombie spirit. That's what I'm talking about. This zombie kind of apathy and Spirit of Elixirs. Well, you guys might have to get drunk for this to finally get to where it needs to go. But Spirit of the Castle, rescue, imprisonment, fortress, zombie spirit. yeah, this kind of like, are you there? Are you not there? Make a move. Stop, and spirit, stop being so apathetic is what I was going to say. Spirit of elixir, intoxication, uninhibited and shameless. Yeah, there may be, you may need a little bit of liquid courage or your person may indeed need a little bit of liquid courage for them to kind of get into that space where they see, what's happening here. Let's get your animal spirit. Yes, the oyster, again, resonates hard. Water and fire. The oyster and the elephant. Well, the oyster is the keeper of secrets, but the oyster is also one to clam up. They keep a lot within themselves. It's very hard to get to their essence or their core. And this is how your person resonates right now. But secrets are difficult, and keeping things to yourself, keeping your energy to yourself means that nobody really gets to see the true you or the true gem that you are. And this is really, it's closed off energy. But we have the elephant also, fire energy. The elephant is the great destroyer of obstacles. So with the elephant, you have, a very strong forward momentum and energy here for overcoming these obstacles, overcoming some of this apathy and this fear, especially fear. Your person is very afraid, in a lot of ways to change up what they're doing because they're quite comfortable where they're at right now, how they're living, what they're involved with. They're quite comfortable, but a lot of that is fear, fear that if they'll step up and out of their selves, that they'll get smacked down, or that things won't work out for them. And yet they definitely overcome this. It's as if they overcome this oyster energy with the elephant. You know what I mean? That overcoming fear and just bulldozing the obstacles down. All right, Capricorn, this is your weekly love tarot reading. I hope you got something out of it. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, or share my content. I really appreciate it when you do any of those things because it really helps my channel. And that's it. I'm going to wish you guys love, life, and happiness. And I hope to see you next Thursday right here at Bow and Arrow Tarot for your weekly love tarot reading. Bye-bye now.